Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Meister Tarot Take 2. Like everybody this week, Mercury has been in retrograde, and I have spoken to so many spiritual advisors and just people in the general community, and things to do with communication and electronics and taping our YouTube videos, etc., just seems to have been an absolute disaster this week. So this is my take 2. Welcome to Sunday Oracle. So it will be a brief one because I have already drawn several of the cards, but I'll run through them with you again. So what happened is I forgot to plug my microphone in. So obviously the sound would have been absolutely atrocious, and I made the decision to start again. So I haven't finished drawing the cards, but I'll run through what we've got already. So what I've done is, for those that don't know, every Sunday I draw a oracle card from my Namaste deck, and then I draw 9 clarifier cards, 3 of them from my Australian Wildflower deck, 3 from my new and love much Nature's Whispers deck that I felt the need for a new oracle deck, went into the store. Of course, there was a wall of hundreds of oracle decks, so it can get overwhelming, but I was immediately drawn to these Nature's Whispers deck. They spoke to me and said, pick us, so love them desperately. And then the last cards I will draw, which haven't yet, is from my Cosmic Guidance Oracle deck. So the card we've drawn from Namaste today is this card, beautiful card. And what the Sunday Oracle is about is just things that we need to be aware of in our lives as we spiritually, emotionally, physically, as we go forward into the week. Just things that we just need to just be conscious of for this coming week, aside from Mercury. But however, the Mercury retrograde is nearly over, and hopefully this is the last incidents to happen to us. So the Namaste deck. You are dearly loved more than you can possibly imagine, and you are never alone. A universe of love and light surrounds you and showers you with blessings that ebb and flow in your heart. Now, the words that really stand out into this, really stand out to me from this, is that you are never alone. Light and love surround you, and that's why at the end of each reading, I send out light and love to you all. Just so it just fills you with calm and peace and warmth and realization that no, you're not alone. And the ebb and flow of your heart. So the ebb and flow really caught my attention. I'll just hold that up there in case anyone wants to pause it and read it for themselves. But the ebb and flow. So reading something at the moment quite interesting about Tao Z, and I'm sure I've pronounced that wrong, in regards to his yin and yang. So ebb and flow. For every positive, there is negative. It's just an action, reaction, responsibilities and consequences, etc. And that in every good there is an element of dark, and in every dark there is an element of good. There is no absolute. But it does also mean that life does ebb and flow. So sometimes it draws back and sometimes it flows forward. And that is just part of what life is. And it's what keeps life moving and interesting for us. If it was all flow, then there would be no lessons to learn. We wouldn't grow as people, we wouldn't expand, we wouldn't develop, and we would basically just wither and die if it was purely flow. So the cards I've drawn, so the first was from my Australian Wildflowers. I've got Enthusiasm. Yes, always love enthusiasm in life. Commitment. Interesting card. Commitment. And then we have Alignment. That's aligning yourself with your true self, which is something we've been talking about the last few weeks. Alignment. Aligning yourself with your true self, your spirituality, your core desires, your passions. And then from my Nature's Whispers cards, which are these beautiful cards with the butterflies. Do you love a butterfly? Have one on my back. The first we have under enthusiasm is be true to your heart. Yes, be enthusiastic, but be enthusiastic about what is true to you, to who you are as a person. Commitment, celebrate differences. Now, I did a bit of a blurb on this, and I will repeat some of it. Commitment, celebrate differences is just huge to us this week in Australia. We've just celebrated our Australia Day, which historically was a day of coming together as all Australians. But what's happened in recent, so Australia Day is held on the day that the British hoisted the flag in Botany Bay and declared Australia British territory. And it was hoisted on that particular day because there was a French ship sailing into the bay, and the British wanted to claim sovereignty first. Now, Australia was claimed as a terrace, nullus, or I'm just trying to think what the word is, but it just basically meant that there were no people. It was claimed nobody's here already, which is absolute rubbish because we had a very, very widespread and strong First Nations people. So there was never any treaty signed for peace with the First Nations people up until 1967, I believe, when there was a referendum to actually acknowledge them as human beings. They were treated as lesser, and there is very much a consciousness coming forth in Australia of actually teaching and being aware of our history, acknowledging it, taking not so much responsibility, but being aware and acknowledging that this is what happened in our history. And I'm finding that starting to occur all over the world, which is fantastic. There's some opposition in the United States at the moment where those that find their personal history of slavery, etc., are very uncomfortable, and their treatment of their First Nations people, the native Indians, tribes of America. There's a lot of pushback of not teaching and banning books that explain what has gone on historically, because it makes a certain sector of their society uncomfortable. Now, my personal view is if it makes you uncomfortable, that's even more reason to teach it. I believe it's called critical race theory in the US, but it really should be called critical history theory, because it is about the history of what and whom and how and why that country, the US, became who they were, and we are the same in Australia. There has been great ignorance about our own history and our own treatment of our First Nations people, and also the history of the First Nations people. Goodness me, they have a rich 60,000 years of history that we are aware of, and the knowledge of the land and how to respect the land is insurmountable. And so fortunately what's happening is that governments and land carers and farmers, etc., are in the last decade or so starting to listen to how to manage the land and learn to manage the land from these First Nations people, because for 200 years we treated it like it was just a bit of a dry UK or dry Europe, and that is not how the Australian land is. It's very nutrient poor, it's water poor, it needs a special touch, and it can be incredibly productive and abundant, but it does need this special knowledge. So celebrate differences. That was a very important comment. So I'll hop off my little soapbox and we'll move on to the final card that was under alignment, and that was maintain your childlike spirit. And this is what we've been delving into over the last few weeks, is coming back to your childhood, what you were passionate about as a child, what really excited you, and being true to yourself. And when you are childlike, you are more accepting, you are more open to new ideas. You would talk to your invisible friends that we now know were very possibly spirits that surrounded you, ancestors that were visiting you, and that we all at some stage, well, not all of us, but the majority of us grew out of that acceptance, that just openness, and moved into territory of becoming who we thought we should be and who others thought we should be. So this is about getting back to what was it that excited you as a child? What was it that thrilled you to run free and lie on the grass and look at the clouds and dream, or sit on the stoop, the concrete stoop, and watch the world go by in the street in front, or play in the stairwell, or wherever you happen to be. This is about getting back to what it was that made you passionate as a child. So our last cards I'm pulling from my Cosmic Oracle deck, and then we'll put them all together. So Spirit, 3 cards from the Cosmic Oracle, 3 cards of what we need to be aware of, what we need to be conscious of for the week beginning Sunday the 30th of January 2022. Can't believe we're nearly at the end of the month already. Wow. Doesn't feel like it was over a month that we were down at Lake Adaminaby with the family. That went so quick. Three cards, please, Spirit. 3 cards. Whoa! Excuse me for 2 seconds. Obviously one to throw out at me. Change. New season of life. Wow. Okay. What else do we have? So that was under enthusiasm and be true to your heart. Change. The new season of life. Wow. Under commitment and celebrating differences, we have growth. Yes, very much so. Overcoming limitations. Were we just talking about that? And then under alignment with your childlike spirit, we have fire, transform, rebirth, and renewal. Again, exactly what we were talking about. Thank you, Spirit. So the first oracle we have, which is from the Namaste cards, you are dearly loved, more than you can possibly imagine, and you are never alone. A universe of love and light surrounds you and showers you with blessings that ebb and flow in your heart. Now, from that universe of light and love that surrounds you, which we were very conscious of as children, we have enthusiasm. Be true to your heart. And this is a new season for you. Embrace. Oh, and then I had 333 as soon as I said that down the bottom. 1333. Wow. Powerful. Enthusiasm. Be true to your heart. And change. A new season of life. Now, if this isn't a message for you, us all to reconsider and think and be honest with ourselves. Under commitment, we have celebrate our differences. Yes, commit to celebrating our differences. And then we have growth, overcoming the limitations of those that try and stifle this celebrating of differences. And then finally, we have alignment. Align with your true self. Align with your spiritual self, your physical self, your mental health self. Align with yourself and maintain your childlike spirit. So this is getting back to when the section in our life where we were well aligned, where we were open, accepting, learning. Everything was new. We were unsure of ourselves, but confident in ourselves, in that we knew who we were. We had to learn who we were in this world of Earth, on this planet Earth, in this current form that we are. But when we first came in, we knew who we were, and we need to re-engage with that childlike spirit and play. Life is so serious. We need to play. Play and rediscover what really lights our fire. Come on, baby. Light my fire. Light your fire. Transformation, rebirth, renewal. This year, 2022, is going to be an amazing year of change, growth, and transformation. We need to engage ourselves. This is an opportunity for us to rediscover, relearn, re-embrace, rebirth, and renewal. Powerful. All the while, we are being aware of the ebb and flow of our heart, our coming and going, our forwards and retreat, because we can never just always stay forward, and we can never or should never always retreat. It is what life is. It brings about our rediscovery, our growth, our excitement, the ebb and flow of your heart. You are dearly loved more than you can possibly imagine, and you are never alone. A universe of light and love surrounds you and showers you with blessings that ebb and flow in your heart. And on that note, sending out my love and light to you all. Have a fabulous week, and we will catch up again shortly. Take care, look after yourselves, and love to everybody. Bye-bye from Libby.